I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're talking about complaining, your complaining, and why we've got to be very careful about it. Are you ready? Let's get started. Do you know someone who seems to complain about everything, or at least someone who complains about one thing a whole lot? Chances are you've got the name of someone or a picture of their face in your mind right now as I'm saying those words. So think about that person for a second. Is that someone that when they're complaining that you really are dying to spend time with? Probably not. Is that someone who's improving the energy of the people around them and of you at that time? Probably not. See, the fact is we all complain some of the time. But many of us complain a lot more of the time than we realize. And when we do, it's a trap, especially for us as leaders. We need to think about this trap, why it's a trap, and how to get over it. So let's spend a little time talking about complaining, shall we? First, let's talk about why we complain. It's a short list. 3 big reasons why we complain. The first one is, as is the case in many country songs, misery loves company. When you think about all of those songs, Misery and Gin, Misery Loves Company, it's people sitting in a bar, hanging out on their 3rd or 4th drink and complaining to the people around them. Now, maybe in that space at that time, that's okay, but that's not all that great to start with. But the reason we complain is others will tend to join in, and there's some company in that, right? Related to that is the second reason, which is that we complain because we want acknowledgement and or sympathy. Yep, when we complain and say, isn't it awful, we really hope that someone will say back, man, I'm really sorry. Or they'll say back, man, I've been through that too. Or, man, that's worse than my situation was. Or, I understand where you're at. Whether we're complaining about the traffic or our health or little things or big things, we're often looking for acknowledgement and sympathy. That's one of the reasons why we do it. But the biggest reason why we complain is it's what we're thinking about. It's what we're thinking about. We're thinking about our problems, and so we're talking about what we're thinking about, and we're complaining about our problems. That's the number one reason. Our thoughts lead to our words. So those are 3 reasons why we complain. And again, we all do it. And if we want to get out of it, we ought to at least recognize the reasons and the triggers for doing it. So now, why is complaining a trap? And this is an important list. Again, 3 things for you. The first one is it's a trap because it doesn't really help anybody. Now, yeah, you might get a momentary blip of feeling better about yourself because of it, but in the long run, or even really in the short run, beyond that instantaneous moment, there's really nothing in it for you to complain. It's just a habit. We've talked about why we do it, but we're not really gaining anything significant long-term from it. So it's a trap because we do it for the instant, and then nothing else good comes from it. Secondly, it drains the energy of everyone, like ourselves and everyone else around us. So when we're complaining, the energy in the room is not going up, it's going down. So it's a trap because the more of it we do, the more we're sucking the energy out of the room. You know the people that lighten up or brighten up the room when they leave, right? Well, that's not who we want to be. And when we're complaining, that's what we're doing. We're lightening up the room when we leave. The third thing is complaining is a trap because it's self-perpetuating. Yep. The more of it we do, the more of it we do. The more of it we do, the more others join in, and the longer we go. And so we're on the 3rd, 4th, 5th shot, and misery is absolutely loving company. It's self-perpetuating, so it keeps happening. So let's think about all of this from the perspective of a leader. You have a responsibility for creating a culture. People are watching you, and if you're complaining, what are they going to do? Think it's the right thing to do, right? We are the ones setting the tone. And so if that's what we're doing, that's what's going to happen. We're going to be the drainers of the energy. We're going to be the ones that are self-perpetuating it. Listen, if we're the ones that are focused on problems, which leads to complaining, then we're not focused on solutions, which leads to something better. As leaders, we can't be the ones that are complaining or even cynical. We talked about that on another episode. We can't be the ones who are complaining about the project or the customer or the situation or the environment or the economy or whatever else, because if that's where we're at, that's where our team will be too. That's not what leaders do. What leaders do is they create a culture that's valuable, a culture that's positive, a culture that is moving us in a productive way. And that leads us to today's tweet. Complaining is a trap. Once you step into it, it's hard to get out. So as a leader, the next time you catch yourself complaining, stop as quickly as you can and change your words and change your actions to something more productive and wise. Do you struggle to provide feedback and coaching to underperformers and problem employees? Is change hard for you to implement, draining the motivation and focus of your team? Do you struggle to communicate effectively with the diverse and sometimes challenging personalities within your organization? If you are a leader looking for a chance to learn more in a supportive and collaborative environment, this is your chance. The Remarkable Leadership Workshop is a powerful 2-day learning experience that combines proven, practical approaches with the chance for peer interaction to help you master effective leadership. If you're serious about your future and you're ready to learn how to communicate more assertively, delegate more effectively, and lead more successfully, join us for an upcoming session. Click on the link below to learn how you can become the leader you were born to be.